Welcome back to DisInfo Watch, and it's been a bit of time, but finally Rashid has returned to us, and we're very happy to have him here.
I'm free finally.
Finally
for a
free
weekend.
for just a weekend.
Yeah.
But today we also have a very special, great opportunity to have our long-lost love, Eli Fazlollah.
Azizam, how are you? Welcome
Hi,
back.
how are you?
And so we're connecting with her to talk all things Iran. We're going to do a whole little spotlight on the country. As you all know, chaos is unfolding in this region, specifically with Iran and Israel, and we really wanted to kind of unpack that a little bit from a perspective of people who are impacted by it immediately. And then also, what is the information like inside Iran versus what we see in the media in the West, and then all the kind of chaos of all of it. So Eli, we're so happy to have you with us back again on the DisInfo Watch, on the podcast, on the whatever. We miss you, we love you, and we are ready to talk all things Iran. So, where do you want to take us today? What are the specific topics that you think we, as our audience, needs to know about what's going on? We have a whole kind of list of questions that we could ask you, but we would love to hear a little bit from you in terms of what you think is at the top of your list of things that people need to understand what's going on.
I think now Iran itself is the topic of the whole media in the world, but some of them are really presenting Iran and the Iranian government really well, and some of them they are doing the opposite way. So, and also we have the Iranian people, they become pro-Palestinian and then pro-Israelian. So it's really insane to me because I can see like two parts of Iran, like Iranian people, and also we have still many people that they are like continuing the movement of Iran, which is women life freedom. But the common point between all of that is Iranian people want to regime change because the election and everything and all the information, European Parliament and even Trump says that Iranian government must change. Yeah, so this is really obvious for everybody that we really want to create change, and we really started since many years ago because we have a lot of revolution and a movement to change the regime. But I believe this time is completely different.
Eli, you said there is this separation in the public opinion in Iran. Do you think this separation is generational? Like young people are pro Gaza, Palestine, old people they want to stay, or is it political? So how is the situation there? How is this separation is seen in the society there in Iran, in public opinion?
Inside or outside? Because
Inside.
inside of Iran. Honestly, I can say is that Iranian people inside of Iran, they really don't care about what's going on in Palestine because they believe that all the tax and everything that they send it to the government, and the government supposed to use them in inside of Iran to build the country, to make everything more beautiful, more better for the life of people inside of Iran, or making the hospital or building or like the university, school for the people of Iran. They are not doing that for people of Iran. Instead, they are killing people, yeah? But they are doing everything in Palestine. I don't know exactly which city, because that's why I cannot say specifically for Gaza, but in Palestine, they are building the hospital, buildings, and also they are supporting Hamas, and it's obvious for everybody, so we know that. So all this money, instead of going to the Iranian people to build their life, to have a better life in a beautiful country and historical country like Iran, they are just suffering and suffering and suffering. And also the Iranian government is still killing them because they says you are against Palestine, but the Iranian people are not against Palestine. They just says that use this huge money to build a country, because we are 90 million population as an Iranian, and we have million Afghan refugee in Iran that they are speaking the same language as us. They born in Iran, and if you are thinking about Palestine, that we don't have even connection with Palestinian people inside of Iran, so help refugee inside of Iran, like Afghan people who born, who lives, and who have life there, instead of killing them or accuse them for the rape or execute them without any consequence.
Yeah, and I could just imagine how intense it is for an Iranian person to deal with. 2019, you have all of these strikes and these resistance after they decide within one day to increase the cost of fuel by 300%. And then you have all these people run out to the streets, and then they just start shooting their own citizens because they're fighting for fair access to resources they need. Meanwhile, all the money is leaving. And I think we see the same kind of a thing happening in the States, where you have this America First movement. We're like, why is America giving money to foreign governments? And they start slashing USAID. They start slashing all of these other things. And you have like a huge political revolution. And it's all because individual people inside a country don't get what they need from their own leaders.
And also because they know that their government is using this money not for the purpose of helping those people, but to influence something in that region. So I think that's what makes Iranian really, because they would love to help. I know Iranians are very generous, but they know that the regime there is just using this money to influence and to steer shit up and to make a lot of problems for them. And who's gonna be the loser? The victims are the people. So that's the issue with all that money and all that influence that Iran
100%
wants to
the
do.
issue, because like even in 2009 that you mentioned that about the petrol just raised, the price of a petrol raised up, the Iranian accepts that they killed 500 people in the street, but we as an Iranian inside of Iran, because I think at that moment I was also in Iran, and we believe that it was like not 500 people that they died or killed by the government, it was 1,500 people. Yeah, so the numbers is always different than something that the government accepted. And also it wasn't only in Tehran, it was like in the whole Iran, but you just see it was in Tehran. Yeah.
So we definitely want to unpack a little bit about the misinformation and the way the regime spins all sorts of stuff to the people locally as well as outside the country. But maybe we could. You sent me a report recently from the UN Human Rights Council, and it was about, they did a 2-year exhaustive study since the Women Life Freedom movement started, and their report was like unbelievable in the things that they uncovered and the survivors that they spoke with or the families that they discussed with. And I think, their key findings were that the protests right now are somehow subsided compared to what it was 2 years ago or even a year ago, but that the repression has continued in a really dramatic way. And you've talked to us a little bit about this like new increased spike of executions and all sorts of stuff. So I'm curious to, we can kind of dive into these particular topics, but maybe we could start with the Women Life Freedom movement between then and now. Like, what does it look like right now? What do you hear from inside Iran about how people are continuing to try to keep this Women Life Freedom movement going?
I think if you see many bloggers from different countries, they are going to Iran and they want to show the beauty of Iran and how the Iranian people are amazing, or how they are like hosting people or the foreigner people, as the media says, oh, Iran is a dangerous country. Yes, it is, especially for the foreigner or the visitor of the country. Also, the nationality of the visitor is really important, because some of the tourists, they can go to Iran without the tour leader and they just experience the real life in Iran. But some of the nationality, they have to have agent of IRGC with them to visit the country. Yeah. So what it means they are controlling information even when they give the visa to the people, to the countries that they allow them to come to Iran. Yeah. So for example, if we have visitor from America, is a normal citizen of from America, just come to Iran to visit a beautiful country, or they having like the two nationality, Iranian American, 100% they are the spy of America, or they can be a spy of Mossad. Yeah. So we saw a lot of international visitor that they went to Iran to visit their family, like Nazanin Zaghari. It was like from UK. So, and she was in a prison for 8 years because she just come back in Iran as a Iranian UK citizen to visit the family. And we have a lot of even more. And recently I saw them, because of the war between Iran and Israel, they also catch four a visitor inside of Iran as a spy of Mossad, and I believe one of them, if I'm correct, one of them is from Germany. Yeah. So what it means like everything that you want to do, it's under the control of the regime, and also regime never ever give you this the real information in a media.
But what about, since Masa Amini and since these protests started, do you think that that has like strengthened civil society? Has that like given, as Rashid was saying before, about like another generation that won't tolerate this, is like willing to go out on the streets and kind of deal with whatever the consequences are? Do you think that right now that the civil society in Iran is stronger than it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Because the revolution of woman life freedom is a completely different than everything that you see before, like the green movement or the purple movement for Rouhani. It was completely different. Yeah, people fighting to change something in regime because they still believe that maybe the reformist part, or they are softer than the other side. Yeah. But woman life uh, freedom, it's coming from the heart of the people. So it's a completely different. It's about people wants to change, but not to change the part, like the parties between reforming or the other side. They want to change the 100% of the regime. Yeah. So they says whatever you have in your ideology, good or bad, we don't want it anymore. We just want to change the regime. We want to change the regime, like and separate the religion from the politics, because what they are doing by the religion, they are killing people, and they say, "Oh, God says that," but we all know it's just a lie. They are using the religion as a weapon to control the people, to kill the people, and I say, "Oh, God says that you have to kill the kafirs." Yeah.
But
So it's a completely different. And I believe that everything happened in Iran, woman life freedom is still alive. They are the people, even me, we are still fighting for woman life freedom, because we are speaking about we want to be alive and free, and we want to have life. But the life that we are deserving as an Iranian, because we know that Iran is a wealthy country. It's not about only oil, but the land, the people,
yeah,
like the history of the country. It's so huge, and basically everything is coming from Dariush, the great Dariush, in back in the history. So we are the same people. We are the generation of Dariush. So we want to have the peace that our great Dariush bring to the world. Yeah. So we are bringing peace to the world, but we don't have it. It's insane.
and I think the government, the regime in Iran understood how powerful these movements like Women Life Freedom and other movements, and they know that it's like a small crack, but it's going to be big until they take them out of power. So that's why I think they try to convince the people that there is an outside danger and steal all this shit in Yemen, in Palestine, and just say, yeah, let's just deal with these people who hate us, and then we're gonna come inside. So in a way, they want to unite people under these causes, but in a way, it's like diverting them from the real thing that's happening. It's the inside change. So the regime knows that there is something rotting inside. It needs to be changed. But in order to change it, they don't want to look at it at all. They want to do something else outside of that to bring attention and to bring all this money so they can, in a way, excuse themselves. Hey, no, we are doing this. And everybody who talks against them, they cannot tell them, you're with, women, life, freedom. They say you are like you're the traitor, or like you're, how they call them, Mossad agent, something like that. But they never tell them, hey, you're an activist. And just lately, I read since March 2025, 5 women rights activists have been detained and they are facing death sentences. And these are
Yes.
activists. So we know that there are other arrests of just normal people just wanting to be free, let their hair out, and they are getting detained all the time. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, you know why? This is something really interesting that I was always thinking about. So, how is the Iranian regime or the Islamic Republic can say that we are Islamic country, yeah, and shows to the world that we are Muslim? Because you see me, you see a lot of Iranian girls around ReFOCUS at least, and we in Berlin, in Athens, yeah, or even in Lesbos. So you never see us with hijab. Yeah. So, but how they, and we are also a little bit look strange compared to Afghans girls, because they are so soft, they are so like lady, but we are a little bit crazy, as you see me here. So, so how they want to say is that Iranian or Muslim is just with hijab of women. That's why they are afraid of women, because if the woman remove the hijab, what they have to advertising as a Islamic Republic country? Nothing. Yeah. So that's why they are really afraid of the woman first, and then they really afraid of woman life freedom movement, because the key word is woman, and also the women are the mothers of the new generation, which is Gen Z. So imagine everything that is starting to change is coming from the woman. Yeah. So yeah, they have to afraid, and they do.
But you had like in when the women life freedom movement first started, you had this song kind of became like the anthem of the whole movement. This Baraye, if I say it
But
correctly,
yeah.
yeah. And it's like was the chorus like we just want a normal life. We're just hoping, longing for a normal life. We just want to, kiss in the streets. We just want to kind of walk and do a normal days, like have our normal lives. And I was listening to this one podcast with this Arash Azizi, who writes for The Atlantic, and he was like kind of echoing this, saying like everybody just wants them to just shut the fuck up and let them live their lives.
Yeah.
Just let it just go the fuck away. Let us be alone. Like just let us do our thing. Like just there's no reason for you to be so intricately involved in every little thing we do. Just let us be. And it'd be interesting to see what would actually happen if they actually pulled back all of these societal restrictions. And they said that they were going to stop doing the hijab and the chastity law, but they actually still are imposing it, even though they made a public statement that it was no longer going to be imposed. But the morality police was supposed to stand down. What do you think would happen in society if they actually stopped all that bullshit and just let people like wear hijab if they want to, don't wear it if they don't want to, go about their day-to-day lives, have a normal cultural existence? Do you think that there would be, I guess, some more acceptance in that regime staying in power because they gave them this like cultural space to just like kind of exist the way they want to?
I will answer you with this thing. The problem of Iranian people right now is not hijab. Yeah, they just recognize like to be online during the war. They are using coding to have internet. It's not about using VPN to have internet. It is the people who educated, they are using coding to become online, because also Starlink, it wasn't working in Iran, so they can also only send a text message to each other. So they did coding to become online with the world. So right now, if you also see the bloggers also videos who went to Iran, you can see hijab is not the thing anymore. They are fighting for more thing. For example, they're like the university students. They are killing themselves to learn the English language, to get TOEFL or IELTS, and then apply for the university in abroad, and then they cannot go to the university. Why? Because they are Kurdish from Iran. So if you are Kurdish, you don't have right to study inside your country, or even go outside to study whatever you really want to learn or educate yourself. Yeah. So this is the simple question. This is the simple topic. You don't have right to study because you are Kurdish. You don't have right to have certificate of your birth because you are from Baluchistan. And go to the biggest topic or biggest problem. So Iranian people, they cannot use iPhone because they are in sanction for many years. Or if they want to have the like Apple ID, they have to use a fake address to register their phone. So they are really a small thing, but think about it. 90 million people have this small problem because of the regime, and they are isolated country. So, like for example, you never see the information that I have as an Iranian, because all is in Persian, and all is the campaign that made by people to become united, to send information outside, to translate it to the other language. But again, you cannot use them as a real source, because it's not like official for CNN, for BBC, or like the international news. Yeah. So is woman life freedom is exist, but the hijab or changing the like the cultural in the society is not the thing. The thing is, this regime have to go.
Yeah,
It's a huge
and
issue.
I don't know if their like attempts at trying to like hold on to power as long as they can is what's leading to these like outrageous death sentences. And you know, we've for years now we've been hearing about these types of like we know a lot about this because of you guys, and you've shared a lot of this information with us, and shocking things that most people don't hear about. But could you share a little bit with the audience about like what would get you a death sentence in Iran? Like what would you do? Now you asked this once when we had Vasilis
Vasilis,
Kukulani on, and you said, what would I do? What would happen to me as an artist or a comedian? I did blah, blah, blah. And he had this response about like, if you were subversive, maybe you'd have a problem and you go to prison. But like, what's happening now where 100+ people have been given death sentences in May alone, or more in June? Like, what is it that you could be guilty of that could warrant that type of consequence?
Now, like, imagine today, if you have a video from the moment that Israel attacked Iran inside your phone, is a crime.
What?
So then they accuse you as a spy of Mossad. Yeah, it's not insane, because as
That's fucking
I
crazy.
read in a Iran human rights campaign, it says that they become 900 people, that also they sharing some information that like which city has more people in a accused of spying for Mossad. Why? Because you're just afraid, and you make a video from the bomb or the smoke or whatever, or the noise, that it's quite insane for Iranian, because they didn't see war or the air fire. after the war between Iran and Iraq, and it's totally brand new for us. And they afraid, and they just wanted to inform like the family in other city. So hey, here is a war in my city, for example, Tehran. Can I come to your place in south of Iran, because in north of Iran, because most of the Tehranian people, they just run away to north of Iran, yeah, to be safe. So
So
just having a video now, I use you as a spy of Mossad. It's insane to me.
in
It's
this case,
literally
That'd be like
insane.
everybody.
yeah, in
I
this
mean,
case,
that'd be
90
like
million.
literally
Yeah, the whole
every
people
person
be
in the
Mossad
city who
agent.
looked out their window and saw
Yeah,
literally
what the
an
hell?
actual attack, not like a fake AI video, but like a real attack. They
Oh
would.
my God.
They're all Mossad. You know, like
Yeah, they are all Mossad.
that's
So
insane.
because it's insane, when I was speaking with the people inside of Iran, there is like each 10, 20 meters, there is a station of the police or Basij. Basij is another part of the IRGC, and they are checking the car, your bag, your mobile devices, or if you have laptop or whatever, they will check everything. And imagine you just forget, you delete your conversation with someone outside of Iran that is worried about you, and then this conversation is enough to kill you, is enough for the execution.
Oh my
And to
God.
me, it's like I was calling some of my people, and I wanted to know what's happening in Iran at the moment, because some of the neighborhood that they are attacking, it was the neighborhood that I was going to university, to school, or I grew up in that neighborhood, so I know very well that neighborhood, and I was become really worried because I know a lot of people in the specific neighborhood. And it was, to me, it was like insane, because they call and they say, "Oh, we are good. Nothing happened. It's just a noise." Why? Because they know that the government listened to the conversation, so they couldn't say anything to me.
You said 100, so actually it's 113 in May alone.
Yeah.
But since 2025, is 478
Have already been executed?
killed. Yeah, that's they said it's from Human Rights Watch. It's 75 increase of the last 3 years.
Yeah. I mean,
Imagine.
I knew that. That's just crazy to hear the number. I mean,
But I think it's more. I think the
it
people
has to
who
be.
are just it's
Definitely,
more, yeah, because they can
100%
kill
is
someone
more.
without even
Because some
Yeah.
of them
telling. Yeah,
from Kurdistan, they
people
don't have
can
even
die.
name in a prison.
Yeah, people can
Or
die
some
under
of them
torture.
from Baluchistan, they don't have even certificate to prove they are Iranian or not.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you have 612 Iranians have been killed by Israel in these strikes. 28 Israelis since this war started, and now there's the ceasefire. Who knows how long it'll last? But Israel is evil for doing that because they killed 612 Iranians, but this government has killed more, and they're not evil. I don't know.
Just by calling them agents,
Yeah.
Mossad agents. That's it. Ellie, we said that a lot of people have been killed since this year only, 2025. We said 478, but those are Iranians. So, and also this regime is targeting minorities. So, April saw 110 executions, including members of Baluch and Kurdistan and Afghan minorities. Many for
Yeah.
drug offenses and security charges, and I think this number is way less than what they say, because they are calling them criminals, but I think they kill more. They cannot say we killed 1,000 and they are all criminals. So that's a huge issue for them. And I want to ask you, Eli, how these minorities. What's their role in playing now, like changing the regime and trying to find their way even there in the society? So, what role are they playing in the future to change this government?
Honestly, I think Iranian people, they are fighting a lot to find a way to change the regime. And we knew that during the war, they don't have even control of the sky of Iran. Yeah. So even when Arakshi, the foreigner military or militarian parliament, when he wanted to go to Turkish or the UK to have the negotiation with and the conversation with the West to stop the war or do whatever they have to do to stop the war, he got permission from Israel to have flight. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's
it
so
is
fucked.
insane.
It's fucked. Like,
It's a theater.
It is
it's
insane.
unbelievable though. But just the idea that the country bombing you is the one who's going to give you permission to
Yeah.
fly for a peace meeting, that is just like
Yeah.
wild.
So because Israel has control for almost 12 days of the sky of Iran. So Iranian people, and always in the West, I know like the President Trump, Netanyahu even, or the commander there of Israel, they always encourage Iranian people, come to the street, we are behind you. Oh, don't afraid, we are behind you, we will support you. But you have to think, yes, in the Iranian government, they lose many commander of IRGC who make the ideology of IRGC, and also they sharing to the West. But still, Iranian regime killing the civilians with the real bullets, yes, or they blind many people. They use rape as a weapon to silence women, and we have a lot of evidence that recently they are leaving Iran and they are living in a different countries. If I want to speak about rape, we can say Armita Abbasi, that CNN also covered her news about the Iranian government raped her and tortured her in a prison, and she was in a prison, and then she left Iran with the Munich Cycle NGOs, with the help and support of these NGOs in Germany, and now she's living in Germany. Or we have Sadaf Baghbani, she has still over 100 bullets in her body, and she lives in Italy. And Ashkan Khatibi, one of the amazing and superstar of the cinema of Iran, he's a director, singer, writer, and actress. He is helping her to flee Iran. Yeah, so we have a lot of evidence. Or Saman Yassin, he was a rapper that he was sentenced to death, and they tortured him, and he was in the European Parliament as a evidence of the crime that Iranians do to their own people. So they also execute him, but in a fake way, and they say that, oh, please tight the rope a little bit softer because he's a good guy,
What?
and let him die a little bit softer. But they didn't kill him, they just make it fake. Like, imagine you are sentenced to the execution, they bring you to the spot to execute you, and they says that we're gonna kill you a little bit softer than others to not having pain, and then they don't kill you. So it was like insane to me. And he wrote a letter for the leader of Iran, please execute me. So what do you really want from these people to start going to the street and paying again a lot of blood to change the regime? But we also know that in the other hands that Iranian regime is really weak today, because they don't have even international communication with the West. They don't have the belonging group that they had before, like the Hamas, like Houthi, or the other thing that they made it for this ideology. So they recently, I don't remember which group was, says that, oh, Israel attacked Iran, but we are not supporting Iran, even though they made by Iranian government. I don't remember the name of this particular group, but I remember it was one of the Islamic terrorist
But
organization.
but like, so the Ayatollah's 86. He, short of running for president of America, maybe he's pretty much at the end of his political and leadership role. Like, so he's kind of done. What happens when he's actually done? This Arash Azizi, he said that every day he takes a shower, he has this like hope in the shower that when he gets out, that he'll see a message on his phone that he's dead, right? That he's like that it's like, okay, it's over. But is it going to be over? Like, what's next? And what do you think Iranians think will be next? Like, he dies tomorrow. Say he dies today. What do you
Okay.
think? What do you think Iranians believe would follow?
I think we should follow. It's my opinion, personal opinion. I think we should follow the Japan after the Hiroshima and Nagasaki, like the atomic bomb. You know what they did? Before they are building the building or the hospital or whatever, they are starting to make school and university to educate people more. Yeah, I think right now I don't say that Iranian people are not educated. They are really well educated. But I say that because the Iranian, the Islamic Republic, and this dirty and bloody ideology that they have, and the way that they are presenting in the TV, is really changed the ideology of the people and also the people of Iran. And then they really were kind of successful in some part of Iran to change the culture of Iran. So we should back to our amazing and great culture of Iran, that we are people of education and peace and democracy, and we just want to have freedom, but in a really nice and beautiful way. Yeah, so I believe if this fucking old government die, hopefully, God help us to happen. So Iranian people, they will be happy. Of course, there is a lot of ideology and different opinion. Like we have, like all the country who has democracy, we have different people who are left, communist, like Muslim, or like Baha'i, Jewish, Christianity. We have different people, and also Zoroastrian, which is the main religion back in history in Iran. So we have a lot of different and unique people, and but all of us, we believe that after the revolution they can be together, sit together, and build the life and build the country together. And each like each part of the group that have the different ideology, they can have a leader in the parliament and decide what they really want for their own people. Because right now, for example, we cannot see anyone from Baha'i people in the parliament. They literally don't exist. Yep, they don't have even right to use the benefit of the citizenship as an Iranian. Or we don't, you can, but even for Baluchi people, maybe we have only one, but they don't have power because, as we see in the news, in Jum'ah, which is Friday, and they have to have the special like practicing Islam in Jum'ah. So the Iranian, the Islamic Republic just shot everybody from the helicopter when they was practicing Islam. So if you are speaking about Islam, why they shot them?
But what do you? I mean, this stuff is just insane. It just feels like it's this. They're like just trying to squeeze everybody to just not allow anyone to have any, as you were saying, a crack. Like a skinny little crack becomes a fissure and just keeps growing. So, I don't, obviously the country is 90 million people. It's obviously going to have a huge diversity of attitudes and opinions. But what do you think would probably, I think depending on the media you listen to will determine what people assume will happen. Some people say, oh, regime change, and every single regime change that's happened in every other country in this region has turned into total disaster. There hasn't been a single example that's been good. And I would say we were probably pushing for regime change in Israel. We're pushing for regime change in America too. Like, I mean, there's a lot of places right now that are all involved in this situation that we don't have a whole lot of sane leadership. We have a lot of
Yeah.
people who are like guided by their ideology, and it's like kind of hijacking the normal like attitudes of the people inside those countries. But I don't know. It's like, what in your heart of hearts, like, what do you think would immediately follow in terms of like a reality if the Ayatollah were to die? What would be the first political reality for Iran immediately upon it? Would it be the hardliners would take power? Would it be the developmentalists who want to be kind of like a Gulf state? Would it be the democrat, the people that are fighting for democracy? Where do you think we'd end up on, day zero?
I really don't know, but I hearing to from the video of the people inside of Iran. Many of them during the war they are shouting, uh, "Live, long live to Pahlavi," or yeah, or they says that we want to have Pahlavi, or like they says. Let me think about what was the Farsi one and then translate it.
So just like meaning that they want a return of the
Yeah, they
Shah.
says,
They want that family
yeah,
line to come
they
back.
says King Reza Pahlavi, King Reza Pahlavi. So you're really, really loud. You can understand them. I don't say like the 100% of Iranian wants King Reza Pahlavi, because I know he has a lot of followers and also hater at the same time. But you really hearing that from inside of Iran, especially I was watching a video. It was really uh like powerful to me, because it was like the air fire front of the window, and the people cheers to Reza Pahlavi with a wine. And it was like literally war, but people they are cheering to Reza Pahlavi and Israel. Yeah, so it was like, oh my god,
But what other,
guys.
what other leaders in I guess opposition to this regime would emerge? Because I think that there's probably a huge percentage of the population that would not want a return to the Shah or like that family line. They wouldn't want to just see, oh, we just go back to kind of like some sort of lineage and extension of what was before the revolution.
But also, he never said.
Yeah, there is many people. They also they want to be like Germany, like the like each part has a real
Federal.
like federal.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yes.
Like the federal station. Like I see many Kurdish people. They wanted to be like independent, or also like they says that from Baluch part they says we want to be separate, but I don't believe it. You know why? Because like the Kurdish people, they married to the different cities, so you cannot say that Kurdistan is just Kurdish because they have marriage to different the part of Iran. So maybe you are Kurdish, but you have a wife from south of Iran or north of Iran. So they are mostly like the whole nationality. But I'm not against none of this ideology, but I am saying that Iranian people, when the regime change, we can have referendum, like the free referendum, and everybody can take a part, take a seat in the parliament, and together we can decide what we really want and what is our main goal as a nation of Iran. Yeah. So who I am to say is, oh, Iranian want this, want that. But the thing that I'm hearing from inside of Iran is a different, completely different ideology. But in the end, all of them, all of us, we need and want free Iran. And of course, we want to our religion become separate of the politics, because everything that killing us during this revolution, like after revolution, is the is like forcing Islam to the daily life.
Just to go back to Pahlavi, I follow him a lot, listen to many podcasts he has done in the US and outside. He never said, I want to go back to be the king. I want to go back to be the president. He just said, I want to help my people in this transition period. He said, this is my role because he knows. And I don't know, you can believe him, you can say he's lying. But I think the issue is, even if the Ayatollah Khamenei dies, and what I learned growing up in an Arab country where dictatorship was all over, is there is the person and there is the system. So you can get rid of the person. We had the president in Algeria for 20 years. And then everybody were like, let's do a revolution, peaceful revolution. He went away, they brought another guy. System stays the same. They just change faces. So I don't want Iranian people to fall in this trap of just changing the faces, but the real rotten system is still running the country. And I think that Iranians now are like a person who's in an abusive relationship. So when you're in an abusive relationship, you don't want, some people will say anything is better than this. But no, it doesn't have to be like this. Just get rid of this and gather yourselves. And like you said, do elections, do whatever, but don't rush to the next relationship. You never know what's going on. Especially you need to know who's backing these people. So even if the Khamenei dies now, who killed him? The person who killed him, he is going to decide who's going to run the country next. So it's either the US or Israel. I don't know. Those are really good options for Iranian people.
But I just mean more like if he just dies of old age, which is also highly probable now. He's like, so that could easily happen. This most recent speech, he looked pretty feeble. Yeah. He doesn't look very powerful anymore. He doesn't have that like vigor that he had back in the days when he was always screaming this stuff. And it's completely plausible that he just literally dies, or there's a coup, or there's all sorts of other things that could happen. But I think back to your point about where the people want to be is a huge diversity of opinions.
Yes.
It's got to have, and it has to be impacted by the information they're receiving. So the type of information they're getting is going to completely change their attitudes and what they're going to maybe willing to go out into the streets to fight for. So, it opens up the big 800-pound gorilla in the room is misinformation, disinformation. Yeah. The AI is now jumping in. We're going to do an episode very soon with Nick Muller. We're going to bring him back to talk about deep fakes and AI influenced imagery, which is all over the place right now with Gaza and with Syria and with Iran and Israel. And there's no way to verify most of the shit you see in your feed on a daily basis and Instagram, and everyone's just constantly just sharing it nonstop. So we were talking about how, you have Iran Wire and Vahid Online and these different types of sources that have really helped individual people and citizens get content out of the country. But these people are in exile that are managing these feeds. What is it like what kind of information is the regime kind of pumping into the people in the country? What does that look like?
Oh my God, it was insane, Douglas. It was insane. Like I personally hate national TV of Iran, and I'm not the only one. I think 18 million of Iranian people, they don't like to even open the the television. Yeah. So because we wanted to have a podcast, I have to go and see what they are doing exactly inside the country. And we have the special channel called Channel 6, is only about news, like different topic of the news, like a sport, politician, art, whatever. Oh, art, there is no exist in this.
Yeah.
So, because we are not artists, as they say. Art is the scene, so not art. But about the sport and politician of Iran and also globally, it was insane to me because they, until the third day of the war, they didn't say that Israel attacked Iran. They just showing Iran attack Israel. Yeah. And the footage behind the TV presenter was only Tel Aviv, Haifa, and the air fire. Yeah. And the whole, and different guests to speak about the how powerful we are. Oh my God, we kill Israel. We're gonna destroy Israel. Oh, in a future day, there is no Israel anymore. Oh, like Allahu Akbar, something like this. And to me, it was insane because literally, my mom is old. So she's 72, 3 years old, and she cannot use the smartphone. She's a national TV follower, and like when she's wake up, she's always annoying us. She was like killing us. When she's wake up, she just open the radio.
Mm.
So every single day. She didn't know anything about war because she didn't even worry about the people who is living inside the Tehran, because now she's a little bit old with my father, so they go out of Tehran and they are living around Tehran, but they didn't know what's going on in Tehran because they are far enough to not having the air fryer noise or
So wait, so,
voices,
so they
so
didn't
they
even
couldn't
know,
hear in the air fryer.
they didn't even know that there
And
was a
then
war?
what?
They didn't even know that there was a war?
No, they didn't know that. Like my mom didn't know that
Holy
because
fuck.
she's just following the TV. So the TV says Iran attack Israel. So they say, oh my God, they are killing our enemy.
It's a
Thank
one-side
you
war.
so much.
That's it. They think that like it's like that. Wow. Imagine a person like that sitting in front of the TV and just the way they think. It's like we are the most powerful people. Like you said, we are killing Iran. We are killing Israel. Oh my God. How can they do that?
Yeah, but wouldn't it like benefit them to like say they're under attack from
Yeah.
the Satan, from the big
Like
and the little Satan?
it was funny.
Like what?
Like
What's that? What's that phrase you told us? The Dojman?
Dojman, yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
Dojman.
Yeah. So like, why would you not like with the evil enemy, whatever? Like this is part of your whole entire death to Israel, death to America. Like this is part of this is your greatest hits. Why would you not utilize the fact that those two countries actually bombed you to nationalize your resistance?
No,
I don't understand why you would pretend that it didn't happen.
It's a pride. They don't want to look weak.
Well,
it's a pride thing. And in this government, in these regimes, yeah, they use it a lot. They prefer people to have pride than fear. Yeah, that's how they use it, yeah. Especially with old generations.
It was funny because it was like the screen behind them, it was like 3 different footage. 2 of them was Tel Aviv and Haifa, and another part was Iranian people who are in the streets celebrating war with the flag of Iran right now. Yeah, so to me it was literally insane because I really recognize that. Okay, so I didn't know anything about what's going on in my country since I was in Iran, because we are also following the news, like from the TV. Okay, at that and in the 2009 to 18, we are sharing the information because at that moment it was only Facebook for us and they banned it. And then to share the information what's going on in different part of the Iran, we are emailing each other. Yeah. So we are using like Yahoo Messenger to share the information at that moment because they banned Facebook. But now I am understanding English and I see many different perspectives, and I'm not in Iran and I'm outside of Iran and seeing the national TV of Iran. It was like literally insane for me. I was like 2 in the morning. I was walking outside of my home last night because I couldn't handle this.
yeah, I mean, this kind of shit is also on the other side. It's on the outside too, where you have to fact check these things. Where this one piece that was a fact finder, I think ARD puts it out in Germany, and it was a video of a building being bombed by Iranian missiles in Tel Aviv, and then they proved that it was AI generated, and they didn't even hide the watermark, right? And then they cut to an image of people celebrating in the streets of Tehran, as in like, we're death to Israel and we're bombing them and we're winning. But it was a Nowruz celebration that they repurposed.
Oh, so
it was like people celebrating the New Year, and they just repurposed the video.
Yeah.
But when you watch the video in its entirety, it looks legit.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's like, holy fuck. Like, So, and boom, share, like everywhere.
This
These
how
videos go crazy.
you change opinions, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how they change public opinion. Oh my. Ellie,
And
did you
Douglas, we
see?
have two different channels, Iran International and also Manoto TV. I don't know if you see them or not. And this is the fact that people calling these two international TV, and they are sharing their opinion and also the real situation of Iran. And some of the people that they are calling, they are from the army of Iran, and they says that we confess that we don't want to go uh, for the war. We don't want to support this regime. And they ask to the like the television, they sharing their opinion and the confess of everything that they are saying. There, it was also mullahs. They are calling this television to say that, oh, we don't want this. We don't want this. Is enough. Enough is enough for us. And they are asking to change their voice to not be recognized. And these two international TV, who is the presenter of the TV, the government arrest their family. So they catch their family inside of Iran, who are related with them, and they say that you have to stop making the noise about Iran. So if you are in abroad, you are fighting against the Islamic Republic or say something as an activist, as official television, you are not safe.
Ellie, did you see that woman? Did it happen really? I saw a video of Israel bombing this TV station. There was this host. She was a woman, and
Yeah.
she was saying, "Death to America," blah blah blah. And they hit the building. She was like, "Oh!" She was like really scared.
Yeah,
and they put it out everywhere. Yeah, she was a meme now. I'm like, how can you lie to people when your own TV is getting bombarded live? Oh my God.
Well, we obviously
Yeah.
have to unpack this further, so we're going to probably have some extended sessions where we talk a little bit further about this with you, but at this exact moment, I think I'm going to cut it here.
We are cooked enough.
Well, shit, man, this is crazy stuff. So we don't know what's going to come next. We don't really know where this is going to end up. We hope the ceasefire continues. We hope more people don't keep getting killed, and we really hope everyone in your family and your friends are safe.
This is your hope for ceasefire getting continued, because when I see from the perspective of Iranian people, they still believe in Israel more than the Islamic Republic, and they wanted to continue the war, and they was super happy because they says that everything that Israel did for us, we couldn't do that for 100 years after. We couldn't even touch one of the commander of the IRGC, but Israel make everything easier for us. I hope I'm gonna be alive after this conversation. Guys, if you didn't see me, forgive me.
I know that we didn't get a chance to unpack the idea of like what the impact of the ceasefire would be, in that, you know, is it an opportunity for the regime to kind of like still linger and stay alive, versus if the war kept going, would it actually topple the regime? And the U.S. was calling for regime change, Israel was calling for regime change, and I know that there are a lot of people inside the country obviously calling for it as well. And that I think some people were probably super surprised by a ceasefire out of nowhere. It seemed like this was going to escalate and kind of become much more of a regional situation. But
Yeah.
with the
They're afraid of the Islamic Republic more than Israel, literally, because they say that this is the start of killing the civilians by the regime, and you can see like there is a lot of people in a prison waiting for their death only because they sue them as a spy of Mossad. So this is more scary.
Yeah.
Because we have 12 days war and we have 600 something murdered by the war. But we have 900 people in the prison that we don't know the consequence of their life or what's gonna happen to them.
Yeah, I mean, like, wanting to see a ceasefire is from the perspective of not wanting to see more innocent people get killed. And it doesn't feel like the powers that are bombing Iran right now are using any discriminate behavior. They're just bombing things, and a lot of innocent
Yeah, and
people are
also we
dying as a
have to
result.
speak about like the prisoner in a political prisoner
Which
in
is
a
like so
prison
backwards.
and the execution of the Afghan people, because there is a lot of execution from Afghan peoples, but there is no um, news about them. So it's really a shame for me to killing the refugee in your country by execution and without any information and justice. So it is something that we have to really cover it because there's nowhere.
But there's just seriously no logic in any of this. Like, you're going to bomb Evin prison, which is full of people who are fighting the regime, but you're claiming that you, like Netanyahu actually standing there saying, this is your moment now, take it from here. We're helping you reclaim your nation, but you're going to go kill the people who are the face of that resistance. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, everything is just upside down and twisted in ways that, like, I can't.
And now the government is starting to transfer the prisoner to the other prison, but now the family, they don't know where they are exactly and what is the situation of them. So this is really insane.
It used to be the enemy. My enemy is my friend. Now it's
Yeah.
just backward.
Yeah, it is
Well,
insane. My enemy is my friend now.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's like pages and pages and pages in front of us of all
This
this
topic
crazy
never ends.
freaking data and specifics of things. And I think in our most recent episode, we talked about the UNHCR's report on a global report on refugees reality in the world. And Iran was the #1 host of refugees in the world.
Wow.
Right? But almost none of them have refugee status. Like, less than 1 million of them have the status when you add them all up together. But there's 3.5 million hosted. So you just imagine what's happening to all of them. And then if this purge is going to start happening where everybody who's not pro-regime is somehow Mossad or somehow a spy, and we already start seeing the reports about how they're attacking Afghans, they're attacking Jews that are like Iranian Jews.
And
They
also
were born their
deporting
whole
them
lives there.
for
Like,
no reason, and then they went to the borders, and then the Taliban didn't allow them to go to Afghanistan even. So
yeah.
they were like in nowhere, and they didn't know what to do. And then they said, like, I was listening to the Afghan international news, and they said the Taliban asking them, "Oh, if you are Afghan, so speak Pashtun." And that guy, he was like born and grew up in Iran, and he couldn't even speak Dari, so he was like literally Farsi speaker. And so how they supposed to be safe in Iran, and then in this kind of dangerous situation, they have to leave Iran. So
Yeah.
which country they really gonna save them? Because
Yeah.
Turkish is obvious.
And
Yeah.
there's 3 million plus there. So,
Yeah.
are they going to go there? And then, but also just like for actual Iranians that want to maybe seek asylum and get out of the country, and they're not being approved in Europe at any level, even remotely close to what Afghans or Syrians or Palestinians or Yemeni or anyone. Like, it's like half. It's like 2 to 1. It's really kind of unbelievable. So what are you going to do? You got 90 million people in Iran who could at any given moment suddenly become a mass exodus of refugees. You've got 3 million, 3.5 million refugees in the country already who can't go to Turkey where there's 3 million others. You can't go back to Afghanistan. You can't go to Pakistan. Like, like, where are you supposed to go? Like, what are you supposed to do?
And also, they cannot even get a visa to go outside like to do whatever they want, like having life, having
Yeah.
education, or just have pause of everything for 2 years just to study. Like, it's insane. And then when I'm asking asylum in a asylum office, I have to prove that I was in danger enough to give me the positive answer. So what do you really want to see?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, we don't really. as we've said in the past, maybe I'm going to channel Sonia a bit here and say that we don't really talk about super positive topics on these shows. And then Rashid, you're always trying to find a silver lining in this stuff. But this is really fucked up. All of it.
But now it's the time for decisions for Iranian people. Yeah. Now or never.
It is, but the consequence could be more bullet, more murder people, and more blind people, a lot of bullets in the body, execution. So I think Iranian people hate a lot to change. But it's not only Iranian, even Afghan people inside of Iran who born, grow up, or just come to Iran to have a little bit peace, they pay a lot to have really a small freedom or really right to be alive. It's a simple one, like the fundamental basic need to be alive and live your life.
Just live that normal life, like
Normal.
Yeah, like your anthem for women, life, freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we pray for all of that to be possible for you and for everyone.
Thank you.
Ellie, we
I
miss
know
you.
you're not praying.
Really,
you are not a believer, so just send us energy.
Yeah, we will.
Just keep going, raise the voice, and we're gonna make a change.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being with us again, and
Thank you,
I'm sure we will just connect with you the next time too. So, till then.
Thank you so much for having me. I love you.
Love you too.
So to everybody at home, thank you so much for joining this InfoWatch with us this week. We will be back very soon with another episode that centers on a little bit of what we're talking about here, which is about disinformation, misinformation, how stories and politics are manipulated and turned into real implications on people's lives. We're going to have a special guest who's going to help us unpack how to verify news sources and information, imagery, deep fakes, AI, videos, photos, and Nick Muller has been on the show before, who is a fact checker and independent journalist. So stay tuned for that episode, and in the meantime, we will be back with some more in-depth interviews in the coming weeks, and so we'll talk to you next week. And just a quick reminder that DisInfo Watch, Humanitarian Watch, and Fractured are all productions of ReFOCUS Media Labs. You can support our independent journalism by subscribing to us on Patreon and also just making a direct donation to our site. So please support our community. Thank you.